The voices of opposition against China are growing. Security is just one aspect of it. The other one is the origin of the pandemic. That question still hasn't been answered, remember. In recent weeks, Europe has demanded a new investigation in China. America is already conducting one. The US intelligence is investigating China. You see, the pandemic began in Wuhan, in China. It is the original epicenter. So that's where investigators will go, and that's quite obvious. But not for China. Beijing blames everyone but itself for this pandemic. Until now, Beijing has blamed the United States, France, Sweden, Italy, even India for this pandemic. And now, in order to avoid another probe at home, it is pushing new conspiracies to shift blame. Chinese scientists have been deployed to muddy the waters. They're calling the virus a bioweapon and claiming that it came from America and France. With the world now seriously considering the possibility of a lab leak, China is trying to put its own spin on existing theories to attack rivals. And you must listen to this very carefully. This is a piece from the Global Times. It begins with a graphic that is called Remapping the History of the COVID-19 Pandemic. This is what it says. The pandemic began in Spain. It reached Italy, then France, followed by Brazil and United States, and then it ended up in China. This, we say, is the mother of all spins, and it doesn't end there. The Chinese state deployed Zheng Guang, the chief epidemiologist of the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, to paint America as the epicenter of this pandemic. Zheng says the United States needs to be prioritized in the next stage of this investigation. Why? Because it was slow to test people early. And it has, quote unquote, so many biological laboratories around the world. Zheng ends his statement by saying, and I'm quoting again, all bioweapon related subjects that the country has should be subject to scrutiny. Did Zheng Guang offer any proof to back these claims? The answer is no. There is no factual basis for any of these assertions. Beijing just wants to plant an idea into the minds of people. China wants people to think the virus could have leaked from an American lab. If you say it often enough, it might work. So it has deployed its top epidemiologists to make the claim, and the Chinese state media has pushed the conspiracy further. Well, here's another one. COVID-19 strains in France did not come from China. This report from Xinhua claims that the Wuhan virus was circulating in France before 2020, and these strains had no connection to the variant from Wuhan. And this piece quotes a Paris-based medical research institute to prove its assessment as authentic. We try to look if any peer review has been conducted into this study or any independent assessment of these claims have been made in this report. We could find nothing. Chinese press remains the only source of this study. And this is what information warfare looks like. China is pushing its own timelines, its own science, to shift the blame for the pandemic. The entire Chinese state machinery is engaged in this information warfare over the origins of the virus. Earlier this week, Zhao Lijian, China's wolf warrior-in-chief, floated a new theory. After blaming the US Army for the pandemic, Zhao Lijian said that Sweden had Wuhan virus cases in November 2019. Listen to this.
病毒溯源是一个复杂的
This once again proves that origin tracing is a complex scientific matter that involves multiple places in the world. It requires cooperation of scientists worldwide in order to prevent possible risks in the future and protect the life and health of people of all countries.
未来可能出现的风险。
Chinese experts are peddling falsehoods. The Chinese state media is pushing the lies, and Chinese diplomats are demanding a global investigation against the rest of the world. And this only shows how unsettled China is about the prospect of another probe. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.